Welcome back, everybody. You know, in the 4 days that we've been doing this, Kim, I understand that already there's been some waves as a consequence.
Yeah, you're right, Rich. One of the big issues for the folks in Dimmock is that they didn't trust what the industry was telling them about the safety of fracking, and we ran into a little bit of that ourselves, which you're about to see unfolded on the property of an elementary school.
This is a completed pad site. Yes, this is a site that has been fully reclaimed as we are bringing the gas to the surface. We're actually on property that is owned by the school. They're probably have seen upwards of $1 million in royalties for their property that's in this unit.
I smell something.
You would smell the methane.
That's methane.
Yes.
They say, is there a chemical mixed with the methane?
You do have mercaptan mixed into it, which should not be in it here. So that's a good question as to what it is you're actually smelling there.
So would you typically smell that?
Typically, on this close to the site, yes. On the location like this.
So that smell is normal. Describe what that smell is. What am I smelling?
I probably can't describe. Sorry.
Just sort of a chemical, gassy smell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, we called Cabot Oil and Gas to find out exactly what we smelled at the Elk Lake School. They said they don't know what the odor was, and they say it was not methane and it was not mercaptan, which is a chemical added to natural gas to help you detect gas leaks. They say they want us to point out that the odor was small and localized, and that they say students at the school could not smell it. Now, we heard from a group of concerned citizens in Dimmock that they took our footage and showed it to the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection Secretary Michael Krancer. As a result, the DEP pledged for the first time ever to begin holding listening sessions on fracking. The residents of Dimmock feel that it goes a long way toward mending fences. Rich.
All right, Kim, thank you. Now, as Kim's mentioned, and we've talked about throughout the whole series, we've been bringing you into our conversation, and we've already gotten a lot of feedback here on this special investigation online. So let's open up the mailbag. Let's start with John Trollo, who wrote us, the economic benefits could never outweigh the risks to our pure water, clean air, the loss of pristine forest land, not to mention the public health and safety of people who are being forced to live in gas fields. It is absolute madness for us as a society to allow the wholesale trading off of what we know to be finite, life-sustaining natural resources like our drinking water for another finite resource that is not life-sustaining and is in fact dangerous, natural gas. We also get this comment from Armand Keim, who wrote, one aspect of hydrofracking that is missed by most is that properly done, hydrofracking is a positive for the environment. The burning of natural gas creates about 40% less CO2 than coal. No source of energy is without problems. Now, Kim, you yourself have been getting some feedback here, and they've been responding to you directly.
Yeah, some people felt so passionately about this that they went on our website and emailed me directly. And we got this email from Roger Downs of the Sierra Club. He writes, just caught some of your reporting, thought the bit with the school was priceless. He says the series, from what I've seen, was really balanced in its presentation. You gave the industry plenty of airtime to make their case, and they used the opportunity to shoot themselves in the foot. Well done, he writes. And Evelyn Weissman, a dairy farmer, wrote me this. Many of us dairy producers in New York need natural gas to keep us in business. It will help our economy. Why are anti-frackers always playing the agricultural card and tourism card? Tourism went out with the hotels many years ago. She writes, I say, drill, baby, drill. Rich?
You know, Kim, before we wrap it up, the one thing I think that we can all agree on, and even our panelists, was that they agree on nothing. So consensus here. I think from our end, we're no closer to it, even after 4 days, right?
We're no closer to having an answer on this than we were in the beginning. It's a very complex issue.
And complex on so many things. They couldn't even agree on the spelling of fracking, let alone, you know, the monies that it would generate, obviously all the environmental concerns. I'm curious, obviously you researched this before you first went out to Pennsylvania and talked to people there on the ground, let alone the experts. What were you surprised to learn that you didn't know from just obviously going through the paperwork?
Well, on the one hand, you have the folks who say their water's contaminated and it's making them sick. On the other hand, you have the industry who say it's not true, that these people, in some cases, are just plain crazy. And then you have science in the middle. We talked to a medical geologist who said, I really don't know. There isn't enough science that's been developed to know if perhaps this rock just should never have been drilled in. So science doesn't even know. How are we supposed to know?
We spoke to one of the pioneers of hydrofracking, a professor from Cornell University 25 years ago, really was on the forefront of this. And he himself says, listen, I believe in fracking, but I don't believe in what they're doing now. This horizontal fracking is not at all what I ever intended when we started this process, and this coming from one of the fathers of this extraction technique. Now, one of the issues that is as challenging as not being able to get any numbers we can agree on is what are the next steps. And right now, we're just not sure of that either, are we?
Yeah, Governor Cuomo in the beginning seemed like a strong proponent of this, but now we know there's no money in the state budget for this. We don't know what's on the calendar. We don't know what's coming up next. DEC received 61,000 comments, and they say because of it, they need more time. So this is really all up in the air at this point. But
with billions resting on this, a lot of open questions on all the different levels we raised, and an election year here, it certainly is going to be a fascinating subject to follow. Kim, great job. Thank you very much. All right, that's about all the time that we have for tonight, but I want to keep this conversation going with you online. So please head to our new webpage, and it's devoted exclusively to this very issue. Just go to rnntv.com/hydrofracking. And as always, you can also tweet Kim your thoughts on the issue. Just go to Kim Lengel on Twitter. Now, of course, we're going to read the best comments in a special mailbag segment that we'll bring you tomorrow night on RFL at 6 o'clock. All right, thank you all for joining us. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Till then, have a great night.